Hey everybody, it's JT from VapeStarsNetwork.com. We have got a big video, a lot to go over. Let's just go right to it. We're going to be talking about the new DNA 40 chip from Evolve. Now, my DNA 40 is the prototype chip, and it is in the BAP 3D printed dual 18650 enclosure. So this is the mod I'm using, and it's got the new DNA 40 from Evolve chipset. This device, not only does it have 40 extra watts from the DNA 30, the previous chip, it also brings temperature limiting to the table. A new technology, the new face of vaping, in my opinion. And with that, there's a lot involved. There's a lot of relearning some stuff that we thought we knew and that we had practiced before. There's a new wire we're going to use. There's just a whole new set of rules to get used to. So this is going to be my introduction video for this chip. I highly suggest you go over to Phil Basardo's channel. Him and Brandon from Evolve did the introduction, the official release of this chip, and Basardo did an interview with him. You got to hear from Evolve themselves about what their goal is, what this chip is here to do. I highly suggest you go watch that. But after this video, I highly suggest going and watching that if you haven't already, just to get their side of things. I am going to try, which is kind of my style, to do a little more condensed version of that. Maybe try to explain the day-to-day experience of using this chipset and help you understand what you're getting into if you decide to order one, or hopefully help you decide if you want to order one. Now, the BAP mods with the DNA 40 chips are available today, the 14th, Vape Dojo and VapeDojo.com. If you're interested, there you go. I'm gonna have a couple vapes and we're gonna dig right into this thing. It's a lot to talk about. I'm just gonna get started. So the DNA 40 from Evolve, we've got 40 watts now. So like the DNA 30, consider part of the DNA 40 just that. 40 more watts. There you go. We're really going to focus on the other feature of this chip, and that is temperature limiting abilities now. We now have temperature limiting capability in our hands. Instead of just adjusting wattage and just adjusting the resistance of our build, we now control and we can adjust the temperature limit. A couple things. To use this feature, we need to build our coils with nickel wire. It's Ni200 is what it's called. As far as I know, it is a little bit cheaper than Kanthal, so it's not going to add any money to your vaping budget. But it is very low resistance wire. This is a different thing. So when you get some of this nickel wire and build a couple coils, you're going to see really fast that the resistance of that coil is very low. And it's not going to seem right to put it on a DNA device to fire it. But it's okay. With the nickel wire, this chip can sense the temperature of your coils. And while you are vaping, it keeps that temperature constant. So the beginning of my vape, it throws a lot of power to the coils to bring them up to temperature, and then it controls that. So as I'm vaping and as my e-juice is vaporizing and my wick is drying out, the chip knows that, and it is controlling my wattage to keep that constant temperature. So the wattage will start dropping as my wick starts drying up. but the flavor of the vape will not change at all. Perfectly constant. And you will be able to vape almost every drop out of your wick material. If you're using cotton, I mean, we all know how bad a dry hit is. Once you get this and experiment and find your perfect temperature for that certain build, that certain juice, that certain wick material, you could very well never have another dry hit ever. That in itself is amazing, you know, and not just the unpleasantness of a dry hit. What you're getting when you're burning wick material is you're getting burnt wick material into your body. That's extremely unsafe. Everybody can understand that that's a bad thing. What technology is doing, and it seems very obvious, it is allowing us to heat up our e-juice enough to vaporize it, but not enough to burn it, to degrade it, and maybe turn it into other harmful chemicals, and to not burn that wick material. That seems like a very obvious thing. And honestly, it's a beautiful thing. This could mean so much more in terms of safety. This is really a huge thing as far as I'm concerned. So I've heard, and I can't quote the exact article or study, but some of you have probably heard that, you know, sub-ohm resistances, probably more so extreme sub-ohm resistances, can burn juices and degrade them. That's obviously not what we want to do. We want to vape. We quit smoking to cut out harmful chemicals. We don't want to just add them back. Again, that is huge. That is huge for vapors to have a company release a technology that could very well keep us all so much safer and to make vaping so much safer. Your taste is going to be through the roof. Just like when you're cooking food. You don't want to turn the pan to extra high and burn your food. You want to cook your food at a nice constant temperature, enough to cook it, but not enough to burn it. That, ding, 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 ding. That's what we're doing here. Okay. Dr. Farsalinos, as I believe is his name, is either currently or about to start a study. And that's really all it focuses on, just this. Finding out if different temperatures affect e-juice and the ingredients in e-juice. Does e-juice burn and turn into different things at certain heats? Does it not? What we'll be able to find that out. This technology coupled with that e-juice study could yield some huge, huge results and some huge information for the vaping community and industry, and would look very nice to be able to say, hey, FDA, it's cool. You know, we know what happens when we vaporize liquid. These are the temperatures. This is the data. That's A-OK. I'm very excited about that. It's a lot to understand, okay? But the way Brandon from Evolve explained it to Phil in his video is that temperature is for taste and wattage is for clouds. So I know, I've seen some of it already. There are going to be quite a few people that look at this, hear about this, and kind of brush it off. 40 watts. Well, this mod has this many watts. This mod has this many watts. You're exactly right. Going back to another thing that Brandon from Evolve said, we can give you power. Power's easy. 100 watts is easy to do, but can we do it safely? And that's not verbatim, but that's pretty much what he said. This is what they can produce, and they can produce it safely with temperature limiting, and we can wait on the results of this study and move forward. This technology can be used with higher wattages. I'm not a modder. I don't invent these things, but I would imagine as this technology grows, that higher wattages probably would be available. But this one really is plenty to satisfy me. I'm probably not going to win any cloud competitions with it. I'll tell you that now. But it ain't too shabby. I'll tell you that as well. My whole focus with vaping is being satisfied. Maybe a little more towards the flavor aspect than just cranking out huge clouds. So that's not my focus. Now, I know that is what a lot of people are into, and that's fine. Just not necessarily my thing. So I guess what I'm saying is if your goal is raw power, whether I agree with it or not, you do have 40 watts here. It is a lot of power, but you're right. There are other things out there more powerful. But are they innovative? Is it something new? Is it something keeping you safe? Is it helping the industry? You decide. I see a lot of value on a lot of different levels with something like this, and with a company like Evolve. Honestly, that's plenty of vapor for me. I get plenty of throat hit. The nice thing is it dumps a lot of power to your coil right when you fire the button. So a lot of people will describe that punch from a mechanical mod. That kind of mimics that. It throws a lot of power and then it levels it out and keeps your vape consistent, which again is very important to me. I'm extremely satisfied by this DNA 40 in temperature mode or not, just a regular Kanthal coil on there. Perfectly satisfied. And I'll tell you, it's the best flavor I've ever had. It took me quite a few builds to get there. I am currently vaping on a nickel wire dual coil, 30 gauge at 0.12. I'm vaping at 40 watts, and my temperature limit is set to 430 degrees. I've still got a lot to learn about this and a lot to test. Every different juice is going to have a different burn point. Different wick material is going to have a different burn point. There's a lot of testing and a lot of learning and playing around to do with this. So I can guarantee I'll have a couple more videos at least about this in the coming weeks. But I tell you what, I don't worry about a dry hit anymore. As I'm vaping, I notice that my wattage is starting to drop, and that just tells me it's time to re-drip. But I can vape my cotton almost dry and still get a great flavor and a satisfying vape. Again, that in itself is awesome to me. Some numbers for you. The DNA 40 chip will fire a Kanthal or Nichrome standard coil down to 0.2 ohms. And now the nickel coils, remember that's going to be a lot lower. It will fire down to a 0.1. Those are the ranges. That's what this device will fire and regulate. A lot of really good stuff. Make sure and read the post. The post above this video. I included some specs. I included some links to some other posts from some other guys a lot smarter than me and with a lot more knowledge of this technology than me. So Make sure this is one of those things you're going to have to pick and gather from a couple different sources to really familiarize yourself with this technology. And over the coming weeks, there's going to be more and more information coming out all the time as different people get these devices in their hands and they can bring their style and knowledge to the table. It's only going to get better. And this is a huge step to further legitimize vaping, in my opinion. I understand you high wattage people out there, that 40 watts, it may not be enough for you, but I do suggest this. Give this a try if you get a chance. If a shop local to you carries one of these eventually, or if you have a friend that has one, try to forget what you know about certain wattages and certain resistances on other devices and give this temperature control a try. I really think you will find that the flavor is unmatched, the safety is unprecedented, and the experience is something brand new, very innovative, and very valuable to the community. Okay, I've got to stop because I could probably ramble on for a couple hours about this chip and get no further. So that's what I have for you so far. I really enjoy it. Day-to-day vaping, it is a huge asset. Huge. I'm not scared of dry hits. I'm not burning my juice flavor-wise. I'm not burning my juice harmful substance-wise. I'm not burning my wick material. And I'm getting an excellent, excellent vape. Unmatched flavor. And I really think it's a huge step for the community. I know I've said that 10 times. That's what I got for you, folks. Feel free to shoot me a message or comment and let me know what you think. Right off the bat, what's your knee-jerk reaction to this technology? I really want to hear what everybody else thinks. So I'll come back. We'll do more at some point in the coming weeks. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.